don't.
Hyperventilating.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another live session. Super professional, super clean. I'm hanging out with Exploring Alternatives.
Hello.
Matt, Danielle. And we're going to answer some questions. But first I want to announce that I am definitely selling my van. It is up for sale. It is now on Craigslist in Vancouver. $13,000. You buy everything. That's Canadian dollars. That's everything you've seen me travel with the exception of like the dog and some camera gear, but everything else is here. So take a look. The link is in the description. Also link to their stuff, which you should definitely check out if you're into you know, more tiny houses and van lives on wheels. And you guys are gonna get a van soon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna repair our van soon or get a new one.
Yeah, it's all up in the air. We'll see next week.
You could get this one, but it might kill you. So there's that. There's that. All right, so we're gonna just field a few questions from you guys. We're gonna do a really quick live session because I'm on my data, which, if you know Canada and their data, it's gonna be expensive. So I'm gonna see what people are saying here.
Someone asked where Champ was.
Champ's right here. He's in his bed.
He's in his bed chilling.
He's in his bed. Oh, yeah, so I do want to answer mainly a lot of questions about this van and maybe the future trip that I'm doing. And I just want to like really get some of those out of the way because I know you guys have a lot of them and I haven't really thought of them all. All right. All right. Are you going to get Champ? I'm not going to be able to take Champ with me when I go with the Gone with the Wind's crew, unfortunately. I didn't really ask them if I could, and they were like super cool about it because they tried really to like test to see if I could, but their one of their cats is not dog friendly, so we don't want to stress them out. And Champ's already afraid of cats, so he's a big coward.
Really?
He's a really big coward. He's really afraid of small
Champ.
animals and
Really?
small dogs and
God.
cats and stuff. I am not getting a BMW because I don't have enough money. But actually what I am getting is I've learned a lot with that Super Sherpa and I love it and it's great and it's been just such an amazing machine that's like indestructible. So I'm looking at getting not a KLR because it's not really like the Super Sherpa. I'm looking at getting a DR 650 or a XR 650. So another air-cooled electric start probably. Single piston 650cc. Dual sport.
I have no idea what any of that meant.
Yeah.
It sounded good though.
It's
sounded
really good. I'm so excited about it.
It
I really,
sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
all right, wicked. Okay, so this is the part where I just stare at a camera for a while and try to find more
Try to read
questions.
questions.
Yeah. The Arctic Circle anticlimactic. What do you guys think? You saw some of the videos. What do you think?
Do we think it was anticlimactic?
I agree. It was a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know what? You know what it really was? It was too easy.
Yeah.
Because because
so.
everyone fears it so much. So everyone said it was like this so crazy, and it wasn't. I don't think it was ambitious enough.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like some really meaningful moments take a while to sink in. For us, I feel like it's kind of like a Polaroid. And it develops over time. And 6 months later, the impact of a trip really hits me. Sometimes in one day, I'll just think back to that trip and be like, wow, that was really special. But because you've had so many back-to-back adventures, maybe it's just...
I also think, like, some specific places that have certain names can, like, put more pressure.
Yeah.
Like, the Arctic Circle sounds like it should be an insane adventure.
There's no potholes.
Yeah.
There's no potholes
not,
the whole way there.
You know, it's not
great.
like saying I'm going to like Colorado or like Vancouver or something.
You have expectations.
It should be crazy if you're going to the Arctic Circle. So,
All right. But is the fund coming on? Oh, somebody wants to know about the funding for the boat. That's actually, I want to be very transparent about the money with the boat thing because I feel like people don't for whatever reason on the internet, which is fine. People have their own privacy. But as you know, I have no privacy and I don't mind sharing it. Basically, right now I'm dead broke. And the sale of the van, and unfortunately, like Airbnb is shutting down their photo program, so that stream of income has disappeared. My Patreon is bigger than ever, so that's good. And I'm working on some sponsorships, which is also very good. I'm kind of like doing video production for them as well as sponsored content, so pairing it up for a good financial benefit. But basically, yeah, other than my retirement fund, which I don't touch, we are starting at ground zero right now. So this marks $0 towards the boat. But once everything sells, you know, it'll be a different story, and we'll keep you guys up to date. I'm basically not going to buy the boat till I have 30 grand saved for it. And I'm probably going to buy a boat that's under 10. That's the plan. And then lose all the rest of it in repairs.
Yeah.
Okay. When will the trip start with the new motorcycle? The new motorcycle trip will start. I just found out like a few minutes ago that it might start as soon as Sunday. I am not ready.
Someone's buying your van? You found a buyer?
No, I just listed it like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So no, but like pieces are falling into place, and it's a make or break. Gotta go.
It's gonna happen.
13,000 subscribers already. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I need a working speedo bad on the new motorcycle. Oh my god. Okay, so let's scroll down here. How are you going to keep Champ safe on a bike? This is very important. I've had a lot of comments about it. A lot of people don't feel I'm making a smart decision by bringing my dog, which is fine. You don't live with me, and you don't live with Champ, so you don't know how we're like, you know, inseparable. But he's really good. I've taken him on the back of my motorcycle already in the backpack, and he's really good. He really likes the wind going by. So the bag is going to have probably an ATV rack on the back of it with the dog bed and a safety rack around him with cargo mesh on 3 sides. And then he'll be able to either sleep, sit up, or move around as he wants. That's the main concern really, is that am I going to be able to handle him wiggling around, which is mainly why I'm hitting up the trail, because it is a lower speed.
Helmet? Does he get a helmet?
That would be amazing.
He's got goggles.
Really?
I got him. Look at it. It's little doggy goggles.
No.
Wow.
It's a Champ's goggles. So he's already getting.
Does he
he's
like
in the right direction?
He wears those? Like,
yeah,
he
I've put
keeps
them on him.
Really?
He likes the.
That's amazing.
Because he squints so much when he.
Yeah, it would be tiring for a dog.
Yeah, it's too much.
That's really cute.
But yeah, we'll be, and the idea basically is that way I'll be able to slide forward on the seat when I get to a technical part of the trail, and he'll be able to jump out and run alongside, which you guys have seen him do plenty of times as I'm going off-roading in the van or on the motorcycle. He runs alongside. He likes that a lot. So yeah, it's going to be a hell of an adventure. And I've seen some people do it in all kinds of different ways. I've seen sidecars. I've seen dogs on tanks. I've seen dogs in front packs. But I think for Champ, like, his bed has always been the way he travels around the world, so he'll be very comfortable. Okay, so let's see. Statements. No questions.
I have a question for you.
Well, you do? For me?
How do you feel after 2 years on the road? Are you sad that you're selling the van? Or are you excited about a new adventure?
I am just a cocktail of emotions right now. I am like overwhelmed, and also like I'm sad to see this van go, but at the same time, like, I'm not gonna just live in this thing for the rest of my life. You know, I want to see other things. So I really want to leave the continent. I really want to get out and see other parts of the world. So yeah, I need to do it. And the boat is a 5-year plan. Okay. So this was always a 2-year plan, like ever since I first bought it, and it's been almost exactly 2 years. So.
I have to say, it is pretty cool to have met you literally day one of your trip, and now we're almost at
Go to their channel, check it out. There's a video, you've probably already seen it, and I literally like had moved into my van an hour before that video was shot.
Yeah, and now we're just 2 days away potentially. I don't even know what day of the week it is, but a few days away from you moving out of it. It's kind of cool to be That's seeing you at both ends.
Terrifying.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that's appropriate.
It's funny because these guys are like, I feel like they've grandfathered me into the. If you like took me under your wing and showed me things. They're like, this is a baby wipe.
Yeah.
This is what you use it for.
You were just showing more people about the baby wipes.
Baby wipes, yeah.
It's our secret.
Okay, it's a Vanlife special. All right. Oh, we should do favorite parts of the parts. Yeah, people are asking about that.
Favorite parts of the trip?
Oh, the size of backpack. Actually, it's this.
You want me to grab it?
Yeah, it's just a bike messenger backpack. He's really tight in it. Like, if I was gonna do it again, I'd get a bigger one. But this carries all of my computer and camera gear usually, so if I strip all of that out of it, he can fit in there just barely, and he's like really snug, but at least that way he doesn't wiggle around too much, and he seems to get pretty comfortable. But we've only done like 30-minute rides with him like that, so once we get the other bike, we'll have to do some test runs around. It looks like I'll probably set it up in Calgary. I might skip over to Calgary because the bikes are cheaper there and set it up there. But at least there I'll have my cousin and resources available to me, so it'll be a bit easier. Somebody was asking, what's my favorite part? We should all answer this one. What's our favorite parts of Ontario? It's a couple of Quebecois, so you know.
Ontario.
That's a good question.
Judgy, but...
I really like cottage country. I spent my summers, not Muskoka, more around Parry Sound.
Okay.
I kind of grew up going to lakes around there, and that's my happy place, I would say.
Yeah. What about
you? Ontario.
For me, it's like Lake Superior Provincial Park. I stepped in there on the off season, and it was just like my first step into like just epic landscapes. Because Ontario is kind of a beautiful but tame landscape, and then you get into Provincial Park, Lake Superior Provincial Park, and it's just that coastal epicness that only got bigger when I got to Gaspésie or out to California or whatever. But like that was my first taste of it, and go riding up and down those mountains was just.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. Yeah, I would say cottage country too. There's tons and tons and tons of lakes.
Yeah,
all
we
over
really
Ontario
like swimming.
and
we've been swimming nonstop
really
all
like
weekend,
swimming,
so
just to survive the heat wave.
Yeah, it's been
and
nice.
the cities are nice too. Ottawa and Toronto, they're great cities
Yeah.
if you're into that.
If you're into that, yeah. Toronto stresses me out. I can't handle it. Okay. 350, shout out Simon, you're doing well, yeah. You need to check out Incredible Tiny Homes. Have you guys heard of Incredible Tiny Homes?
No, is that a channel or is that a company? I guess we'll just Google it.
We'll have to Google it. Incredible Tiny Homes.
Thank you.
Some more of your competition. We're all friends here, trust me. There's so much stuff to make stuff about. How far? Okay, so I'm playing the trail by ear because I just found out basically that I might be going to Calgary and setting up there instead of starting in Vancouver. So it's called the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail, and it's basically only been formed like 7 or 8 years ago. And it's not a really official trail. It's just a bunch of off-roading enthusiasts got together and said, you know, the Trans-Canada Trail is amazing, but it'd be lovely if we could just like take our motorcycles and do it. So they've compiled all these different trails together to make this thing, and you can email them and get a copy of the map, and it is extensive. So there's lots of choices to be made and lots of it's kind of like my map. I just love it. I love looking at the map and being like, oh, what weather am I going to get when I roll into here? I'll make a decision, you know, like there's things that are going to change. The venture changes every day. Story behind the music on my channel. I think I've covered it a few times, but basically I reach out to artists I find on SoundCloud that I really like, and I ask them if I can use their music, and they say sometimes yes, and then we become friends. Where do I hope to make the original boat purchase? I'm like keeping my options open. There's a cool one here in Vancouver that I'm hoping to look at, but basically it's wherever I find it. It would be really nice to find one on the Great Lakes. You guys can come hang out. So you can
practice there.
Yeah, you can taste that non-salty
sailor
life.
We've told a few people, we were thinking of getting a sailboat a while ago, and we've told a few experienced boaters that we wanted to learn and practice on the Great Lakes. And they started cracking up because
it's more dangerous.
Because apparently it's really hard there because I don't know, the currents.
Well, there's not just deep water to like, autopilot, off I go. There's like lots of shallows. It's you know, there's lots of.
Maybe it is a good place to learn because then it'll be easier after that. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, I sailed they say the bay, the San Francisco Bay is one of those places where like it's just like because it's like you can get. I mean, we were out sailing in like 50 knots of wind in like that, like it just turned up like all of a sudden. So we're reefing stuff in like super fast, throwing it in. Okay.
I wish everyone could see how the phone is being held up. Yeah,
we're holding the phone up with duct tape so if it's wiggling around a little bit. When you're ready to buy the boat, what kind of boat are you looking to get? I'm looking to get basically a 3-berth, maybe 2 plus 2 bunks. I want a lot of space for crew. I'd like to have a changing cast of crew Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And I'd really like to get a catamaran or a trimaran. So that's what I'm looking at. Mainly trimarans because they tend to be cheaper and weirder, and I like weird. So yeah, I'm looking at trimarans mostly in the 40-foot range, trying to find one that's got a good amount of space on board because I want like basically a floating apartment.
Yeah.
I like sailing, but I'm not a huge sailing nerd. I'm just like, I don't mind being more removed from the sailing aspect of it and just like enjoying traveling around the world in a stable, flat apartment that doesn't do this all the time. Yeah, it does seem
like it would be more comfortable.
Sure.
Yeah, I think so. And you know, if you build them right, apparently they can be a lot faster too, which is a bonus.
Cool.
Oh, all right. We're starting to get a few people on board here. Any time-lapse tips? How's your time-lapse game going?
Not as good as yours.
Yeah, he would be the time-lapse. I just use the
My
Sony
time-lapse
app.
tips is buy this camera. It's on sale. Okay, it's on Kijiji right now. $2,200 with the lens.
I don't know. That's an expensive tip.
And I shoot all my time-lapses on this. I bought it for $4,000 and I bought the lens for $1,000, so you're getting a deal. It's a $5,000 camera apparently.
I think the tip would be put your camera out and make sure that you actually do it.
Yeah,
the other
do
night
it a
you
lot.
got the Northern Lights.
Because you'll mess it up. You'll mess it up like 100 times.
Yeah.
And then you learn to like, oh shoot, I need to put white balance into manual.
Yeah.
Who would have thought to do that, you know? You need to learn to like, so I just dial in settings I know are going to work given the situation. I don't even have to look at the meter. I just know like, okay, it's kind of brighter here. So I'll tone it down from 10 seconds down to 8. And I'll set my, a 1 second gap between each shot so that my sensor doesn't overheat. Little things that happen, and the more you shoot, the more you learn. But yeah, there's a few of them are basically, I usually do like f3.5, 10-second exposures, 11 seconds between each shot, leave it out for like 3 hours, and manual focus, manual exposure, manual ISO at about 2000 ISO, and manual white balance at a bit warmer than usual.
That's for night lapse, right?
Night lapse, yeah, specifically. So
and if you don't have a camera, like if you have no camera and you still want to try it, if you have most people have a phone, you can get some pretty cool time-lapse apps.
Microsoft's got one, the Hyperlapse. It's a really cool one because it stabilizes the footage too, which is super handy. Yeah, and so you can do handheld time lapses.
Yeah, and the ones I've gotten, you had to pay for it, but it was maybe $2, and they work really well.
Cool. You know, even if you have to export your first few trials with like the stupid little watermarks in the corners, just do it. Just learn and do it. Yeah. Okay. Will you pursue a future in videography? Because you're awesome. Yeah, thank you.
You are awesome. I see you exploring alternatives in all caps.
Oh, you guys are EA.
Is someone yelling
at us?
us?
You are EA. They've abbreviated you.
But down below.
I know,
it's all caps.
You need to check out Randy Jones of Incredible Tiny Homes.
That's the second person who said that.
I think it's the same person.
Oh, okay. We'll look into it.
Okay, so actually I come from a background of videography, and the reason I got into doing these videos is to get better at it because I was pretty bad. So I needed to make a lot of videos. 400 seemed like a good number.
I think your videos are beautiful.
They're doing really well now, but God, if you look at the early ones, Same
with that.
Man, if you look at our early videos, they're terrible.
You just have to start somewhere, though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And it'd be really great if you have like another channel. Like, wait when you start feeling a little bit better, just maybe wipe the old videos off.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know. All right. Okay, let's go back. When you camped in Quebec, you mentioned something was walking around the van at night. Do you think it was a bear, cougar, wolf? Actually, in Quebec, it's more likely coyotes or a lone coyote. Those are very common. Bears are less common. We get some black bears.
Oh, there's a lot of black bears, like pretty much everywhere in Canada, especially in Quebec and Ontario.
But I mean, like compared to the Yukon, like I was much more likely to run into a coyote. Whereas up there, I didn't see any coyotes. So it's all just bear and elk and there's no deer. So it was weird. Bigger animals, moose, stuff like that.
But the bears are often just trying to avoid you.
Yeah, black bears are usually pretty safe to like. You know, encounters of black bears are very uncommon. It's the grizzlies that pose a very different threat. So you got to watch for those grizzlies. Big time. All right. If I don't answer your questions, because I already answered earlier in the stream, so you'll have to watch out from later on, and you'll catch the answer to the question you asked. For someone looking to, what tips do you have to someone looking to start a career as a traveling photographer, videographer guy?
Oh, that's a perfect
It's a
question
good one for all three. All three of us.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
It's true.
Yeah, I would say one of the hardest things is honestly just creating content every day, even if you're not paid to do it. Just get out there and keep shooting, because you don't just get better on your paid shoots. So that's a big one. And when I find like if I don't create content or create video or create photos in a day, like I will fall into a slump pretty quickly. And with traveling, like you're just so susceptible to emotional swings because you're like we're living a very raw lifestyle, right? So it's good to keep on top of that and just constantly create, and it's a good outlet to like keep it going. Yeah, I would suggest. I think most people are concerned with like how to make money doing it. But.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah. I think
I would say
I mean, people are making money doing it, especially on YouTube, but it takes time to build up an audience and to build up a whole build relationships, build a library of videos that you're proud of, and you just have to start and pick something that you're really passionate about so that you'll enjoy doing it.
And just do it relentlessly over and over.
Because that's the thing. Any of this that you see, like we're only in it not because like we picked a good idea and stuck to it. We picked it because we're stubborn as hell. And we love what we're doing, and we're obsessed. And like like we're only just starting to break. Like I don't know, like you see my budget, I'm not breaking even. Like I'm still burning up savings, and like I'm still sticking to it 2 years in. I'm created 400 videos. Like if you think that like you can just jump into it and break even in under 400 videos, it's tough. I mean, you might, but it's like winning the lottery, right? So
you can't do it just for money, I think.
And if I can give 3 quick little tips,
please do lay it on us, buddy.
Think about, like, start with short videos and try to really think about pacing. People don't want to see super long videos and super long shots of not much happening.
Minutes.
Just make sure you're telling us a story in like a short-ish amount of time, and rewatch it several times and try to put yourself in the position of someone who's seeing it for the first time, and are you keeping them entertained throughout? And also try to come up with your own style. Like you can get inspiration from different channels and different people, but try to come up with your own your own aesthetic and your own style. Or
at least just combine so many other people's ideas that no one can tell where you stole it from. That's a good one. Because art is just creative theft.
Did you have a third tip in there?
Yeah, come on.
No?
Well, one of them counted as 2.
Did it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wasn't counting. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm always counting.
Okay. What's your route for the Asia trip? It's a little bit in the air. There's definitely Japan happening, and it is most likely happening by van.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
Well, I've been bragging about it.
Where's the van going to be coming from?
I'm just talking to a few different people and trying to sort it out and trying to make it work.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's not going to be a long trip, but I've been wanting to go to Japan for like a decade, so I gotta go. I gotta get out there.
Do it.
And they got hot springs, and no one camps, so
It'll
cash in on it.
Yeah.
It'll just be me, but it is a very crowded island, so it's going to be a whole new set of skills. And then the rest is like, at first it was definitely Thailand, then it was like, well, for sure Laos and Cambodia, and now I'm talking to my friends about going to India instead. So I have no idea. We'll see whatever rolls in, but we're looking at a cheap motorcycle, most likely trip in Southeast Asia somewhere. This person here thinks I shouldn't put music on.
Why?
I don't know.
Music's beautiful.
They just don't like the music. That's okay. Our favorite app for finding campsites?
Oh, because we're often working in the summers while we're living in the van, we stay at a lot of Walmarts, so we use Allstays to find a lot of Walmarts.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Walmarts that don't allow you to stay overnight, so that the Allstays website shows you maps. It's for Canada and US, and it shows you maps and you can check if where you're going, if the
And it's like, how much is that out there? It's like $5.
I think it's free
It's
on
free,
the website,
yeah.
and
Free
then
on
the
the
app is
website.
a few bucks. And then we
Okay.
also use freecampsites.net, I think.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Freecampsites.net and Campendium has a
Ooh.
free option on it as well. I find that usually they have the same listings, but every once in a while, one
Haven't heard
has
of
something
that
that the
one.
other one doesn't. Yeah,
Mhm.
Chris from Chris and G put me onto that one.
Yeah.
That's a
Nice.
popular one because you can select also paid ones, and you can select your price range. So you can set it really low just to like broaden the horizons if you don't find anything free.
Mhm.
But yeah, in Canada, it's that is especially for America. So in Canada, it's weird. It's very different. Basically, there's just so much space that you are often like a lot of campsites I camped at. For all I knew, were probably legal.
Mm.
Illegal?
Illegal.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no one for miles and miles and miles to see
Mhm.
you or care.
Yeah.
So it's a different thing. Like every country, every region is going to be a different way of traveling. I
Yeah.
found that the free campsites on it was super good when you got into the States, but up here in Canada, it's sparse.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you would agree with this because you have a totally different van than we do, but we chose our van purposely because it was stealthy, and then we feel like we can camp anywhere and no one really expects that we're sleeping in there.
I really worried about that when I first got this one, I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
And then I realized that there's certain tricks, like if you're going to street camp, just don't do it near rich people.
That's a great tip.
Just don't. Just
Yeah.
go to look up like something headquarters of like any product, just or headquarters on Google, and you'll almost always find an industrial park full of vans and campers and other stuff every night. They roll in late and they pull out early, but
That's smart.
it's an easy spot, and it's always dark and quiet. So nice. That's one I often use because I don't like the Walmarts.
Yeah.
It tempts
Yeah,
me to shop there,
they're
and I
pretty
try not to.
Yeah.
They're pretty
We just like
depressing.
having the washrooms and the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'd rather pee in a bottle. All right. Hello from Silicon Valley. Were you in danger at any time in the trip? For the Arctic trip, I was zero, never in danger, not once. There was not a close call. Honestly, just go up there. Yukon, Northern BC, Northwest Territories. It's spectacular. You really got to go, and it's so much free camping. You are really on your own. That idea you have of Canada being like a land of beauty and like nobody there, it's true up there. There really isn't anybody. You never mind seeing signs. You don't see signs. You don't even see power lines.
Really?
It's just a road.
That's crazy.
There's nothing else. And then you're like, oh, I'm standing up on a cliff and like overlooking this vista. Well, like I bet you I could see a house or a building. No, nothing.
That's insane.
You're like, I'm looking out for like miles and miles and I don't see anything.
Nice.
Not a single thing.
Sounds awesome.
It is awesome. It'll burn through your gas tank getting up there. But all right. This guy is like really on about this Grandy guy.
We're gonna look Randy up.
All right, don't worry, guy. We'll look him up, please. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, high shutter counts. The high-end cameras are rated for like a lot of shutter counts, and at the end of the day, replacing a shutter, a couple $100. It's not the end of the world. How long will I be in Vancouver? I will be in Vancouver all week. I'll post stuff on like Twitter and tell you what coffee shop I'm at if you want to swing by and say hi. I'll do that a few times this week, I think, because I'm probably going to be spending some quality time in coffee shops. What was your biggest fear before van life, and what is the prescription on that fear now? Ooh, go.
That's a good one.
Dig into it.
Biggest
Come on, you
fear
got some
about
stuff.
van life?
What is the prescription?
The biggest fear.
What- And
biggest
what's your
fear.
perspective on it
Oh, the
now?
perspective.
My biggest fear was like, where am I going to sleep? It turns out that's like the easiest thing to fix. There was so many things I was worried about that were just not important at all.
Yeah.
Not even remotely concerned. I was concerned about being far from home, and then it occurred to me at like halfway through like Winnipeg that I was in my home all the time.
Yeah.
I had gone 0 kilometers from my home, and it really like I could turn around and go home at any point or go back to my home city, but I wouldn't be any more comfortable there than here. And I could just stay put here for months and months if I wanted to. I could live here for the rest of my life. Having that complete and total agency over location was like, it took a really long time to sink in. And once it did, it was like, oh, So then I started worrying about like other stuff like mechanical failures and where I was going to get my next tank of water and filling the damn propane tank.
Yeah.
You know, other worries, which all, you know, you figure out how to do.
My fear right before we moved into the van, because Matt made me watch a bunch of YouTube videos about bears breaking into vehicles, is that we would wake up and there would be a grizzly putting his claws into the window and just ripping it off and diving into the van.
Because we've seen videos of bears doing that, just like breaking into cars and going in it.
Yeah. So probably for 5 months leading up to it, I would think about that and try to think, how would I defend myself if a grizzly came into the van? And so we had all kinds of scenarios.
Just make sure your bed is either too soft or too hard and not that Goldilocks range.
Oh, okay.
That's all you want to make
But
sure.
then my perspective on it now is that as soon as we got in the van, I wasn't afraid, and I was actually disappointed that we weren't seeing any bears at all.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen a grizzly brown bear yet, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
I only saw one up in the Yukon. Well, two. They were together, but
Nice.
yeah. And it was always like, there was a grizzly.
Yeah.
It happened really
You just saw
fast.
the bum.
It was like on a big hill, and I was like, I'm not driving back up that. It's too
What
far.
about you? Did you have a fear?
I think it was also where we're going to sleep. It's not as... Yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to
Nowhere
be.
near as hard as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Sometimes it is annoying if it's late at night and you haven't found a place to sleep yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, getting kicked out,
Not a big
it's
deal.
not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. All right.
Pictures.
Yeah, it's a funny thing that this break, when you do live sessions, it's when I know I should end it because it starts getting really weird in the comments section.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, cooking.
God.
Some people are commenting here about cooking in the van and how I'm definitely going to continue cooking, and it's going to be one of the big things about the motorcycle trip is I'm going to cook off my motorbike.
Nice.
I'm going to do like recipes and stuff off that motorbike. I have a stove. It's about this big, and I'm going to cook on it.
That's going to be epic.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up. Comments are getting weird. Y'all are strange people, so we're just going to... Don't read them. It's just...
I already saw a couple.
It's getting nasty in there.
It's getting weird. Okay.
It's getting weird in there. So, guys, you've ruined a good thing, but otherwise, you're all great, and I love you all, and thanks for tuning in, and yeah, on to the next chapter.
Thanks for having us. This was fun. Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.